Andrew has requested me on Patreon to review the family comedy Are We There Yet? Released in 2005, this falls into that category of family films involving a bunch of hijinks of a couple of children and a lot of slapstick. Basically the kind of movie that studios love to make after the success of Home Alone. This one stars Ice Cube and is about trying to take two children to Vancouver to see their mother. So what did I think of it? Well, I did not find it the least bit funny, and I was particularly annoyed by the children. The whole idea with them is they don't want their mother to get involved with someone new after their father left, and so try to make this road trip a pain for Ice Cube's character Nick. This could be funny under the right execution, but I instead just found Lindsay and Kevin to be frustrating and insufferable. They cause so many problems, both intentionally and not, and they're basically a couple of twerps with little that's actually likable about them. Nick is not the greatest person in the world either, but he's trying, and while it's established early on that he's not fond of children, he still makes an effort to try and appease them. And while a major plot point is that he does this so that mother will date him, I think he also agrees to take the children out of his genuine concern that she might lose her job. Of course, we know that Nick and the children will eventually grow to like each other, but I don't think that's earned here after everything they put him through. They have a few heart-to-heart conversations, complete with the sappy music, and then suddenly they're the best of friends. The character turns are just too sudden. A lot of the humor in the movie involves a lot of tired slapstick gags of Nick being constantly injured or his car getting destroyed in different ways. A lot of the scenarios are also telegraphed a mile away, like when we see Nick park his car next to a yellow pole at the airport. I wonder what will happen when Kevin opens the door. Although, let's be honest, that was Nick's fault. He should not have parked there. At one point, there's a skirmish with a truck driver played by MC Gainey, and then near the climax of the movie, the three of them try to hitch a ride on a truck, and we know exactly who is going to be in there. Are We There Yet? Does not contain a single surprise in the plot or the jokes. Although that would not be so bad if the comedy landed, but outside of a few lines from Ice Cube I chortled at, I was largely silent through the whole thing. Regarding Ice Cube, I think even his biggest fans will admit he's not exactly a versatile actor. Not to say he's not been good in certain movies, like Friday, Boys in the Hood, Three Kings, and TMNT Mutant Man. However, he nonetheless plays a lot of his roles the same way, and that applies to Are We There Yet too. The child actors do what's required of them in the movie, and they can only do so much with the material given to them. It's just obvious all their dialogue came from an adult screenwriter's keyboard and does not sound the least bit natural. Meanwhile, there's an unusual device where Nick is constantly talking to a bobblehead voiced by Tracy Morgan. I guess it's supposed to represent his inner thoughts, but they even have him talk to him in front of other people. He's also specifically a bobblehead of real-life baseball player Satchel Paige, which I guess is one way to pay homage to him. Jim Henson's Creature Shop was responsible for creating that for the film, and to their credit, they did not go overboard with the head movements like they could have. You hear that, bobbleheads, the movie? By the way, you can quickly tell whether an American production was filmed in Canada if a cast member from the show Corn and Gas appears. Yes, even though the plot of this movie involves the characters traveling across the border from the United States to Canada, they really just go from one part of British Columbia to another. I should probably mention that Are We There Yet? Was directed by Brian Levant, who specializes in family comedies. In fact, he has primarily directed family films throughout his career, and I respect that he's found the thing he feels he's good at. I primarily associate him with the live-action Flintstones movies, but he also directed Beethoven, Jingle All the Way, Snow Dogs, and 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies for Cartoon Network. Have I been particularly fond of the films he has directed? Not really, even if I do have a somewhat nostalgic attachment to the Flintstones movie, having watched it many times on VHS as a child. I find a lot of his films are just sort of there, and don't provide much in the way of funny moments and three-dimensional characters. He just wants to give families something lightweight that passes the time for 90 minutes, although some of them, like Are We There Yet?, Jingle All the Way, and even his 2 Flintstones movies can have certain mean-spirited elements that seep out. His first movie was even Problem Child 2, so maybe that's just his edgier comedic sensibilities trying to get out, although that runs the risk of his films having unlikable characters. As for Are We There Yet?, I just thought none of the comedy landed, and I found myself more frustrated by the actions of the children than anything else, resulting in a largely underwhelming experience. But if you've seen the movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for the request, Andrew.